Hi everyone, welcome to the Daily Grind here on Latte Firm. It's in fact a match reaction video 24 hours after the game was played. My sincerest apologies for not going live last night, as many of you will know in the Patreon chat and of course in the YouTube community. Unfortunately, my father fell ill yesterday morning, has been in hospital ever since, and we've only just returned him home about a couple of hours ago. Scans, ECGs, all that sort of stuff have come back really positive. Very, very pleased now that he's home, and I cannot thank you guys enough for all of your warm wishes and your kind DMs. Just wanted to start with that because you guys are the absolute best. Keep them in your blessings. That's all I ask. And I appreciate that. And on to the football. Gabriel Martinelli's early goal yesterday and Bukayo Saka's late goal gave Arsenal a perfect 2 out of 2 in this season's Champions League. 2-0 win over Olympiacos at the Emirates under the lights. Fantastic. Welcome to the show. Do get involved in the chat. Please do drop a like in the video, subscribe to the channel if you are watching for the first time. And of course, you do enjoy the content, which is of course my aim. Let's go to the chat first, actually, because a number of you have been waiting very patiently. Rudy Fizzle, glad you're back, FK. Now let's talk about the Odegaard masterclass last night. We will talk about Martin Odegaard. The skip is back. We're going to talk about Bukayo Saka. We're going to talk about Victor Gyokeres. People judging Victor Gyokeres on goal return, but actually if you use your eyes and watch the game, you can see the impact that this guy is having in our team. So really looking forward to covering some of that stuff. Paul James, welcome. Hi, FK. Hope your father is better and that both he and your mum are feeling the love. Yeah, listen, thank you for all the kind messages once again. Really appreciate it. I can see lots and lots of chat about Papa FK. He is fine. He is watching. He always likes my videos. So, Dad, if you're watching, special shout out to you. Dad says, good evening, FK and chat. Just got home from the site listening to Latte Firm over a hot brew. Great way to end the evening. Come on, you Gunners. Yeah, I hope you've all had a fantastic day. Maybe just spend a little bit of your time to cherish the time you have with your loved ones and send your parents a little text to say that you love them. Very, very appropriate right now. Raphael Kachinov, big ups FK, hope all is well. Surprise, surprise, Nottingham Forest are having the full-blown Poster no clue experience. Got to feel for their fans. Do you have to feel for their fans? But yes, they are absolutely just who they are, mate. Now, Dave, welcome to the show. Best wishes to me, my family. FK, thank you, man. Really appreciate it. V Vlad also sending the love. Karen is in the house. Dad is feeling better. Thank you for that. Manny K is in the house. Evening, FK. My dad is on his way to recovery. Hope he's feeling better and on his way to a full recovery. Thank you for all the love. Honestly, this is what makes the community what it is. I really appreciate each and every single one of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Massively touched by all the love. Thank you. Thank you, KSSMYW as well. Mike Jones is in the house. Latte Firm family. It is the best family. Honestly, I look forward to these shows every day when I'm at work, when I'm with my family, when I'm doing other things. I look forward to just spending time with you guys and just coming on to chat. Makes me feel better, and hopefully it makes you all feel better as well. Thank you so much for the kind words. So let's tuck into the content. As we know, we beat Olympiacos yesterday. Let's talk about the starting lineup and the options that we seem to have on the bench. So this graphic, courtesy of Arsenal.com. And of course, the image on the right-hand side has its purpose, but I'll come to that in just a second. 6 changes to the last game that we played away at Newcastle. David Raya keeping his place in between the sticks. Ben White coming in at right back to place Yuri and Timber. And I was expecting that. I wanted Ben White to get some minutes. I think it's really important that he gets minutes and he's getting sharper and fitter. He's still some way off Timber, but coming back from a couple of minor knocks after such a major injury, it was always going to take time for him to get back to speed. Saliba and Gabriel preferred in the middle. Saliba, of course, celebrating his new contract deal with yet another clean sheet. Fantastic. And Miles Lewis-Skelly, really sensible this from Mikel Arteta. Came on towards the end against Newcastle. Ricky Calafiori has been playing a lot of football, obviously. Maybe the Italian stallion just goes straight into the team for West Ham, but you got to keep players fresh. Manage the loads of Timber and Calafiori. Very, very sensible from Mikel Arteta. Zubimendi in midfield. Declan Rice stepping down to the bench with Mikel Merino keeping his place after his goal-scoring exploits at St. James's, and Martin Odegaard. The skip is well and truly back. Very, very pleased to see him. There's a whole slide dedicated to Martin Odegaard. In fact, we might even dedicate tomorrow's late night lounge to Martin Odegaard. Leo Trossard kept his place up top. I was a little bit surprised by that. I thought maybe it'd be a chance for C. Eza under the lights in the Champions League for his first sort of start in the Champions League, but it wasn't to be, with goal scoring Gabriel Martinelli and Victor Gyokeres leading the line. And look at the bench. Kepa, Setford, your 2 goalkeepers. Mosquera, Saka, Eze, Timber, Norgard, Wanyeri, Calafiori, and Declan Rice. What a strong bench. I mean, we're saying this every week now, but like sometimes you just have to reinforce it to believe it. We have a very, very good squad and a very, very good team and a very, very good bench. Fantastic. Aaron says our benches are ridiculous every game despite injuries. Yeah, I mean, think about the players that aren't playing. You know, think about Gabriel Jesus. Think about Kai Havertz. Think about, I probably missed out a few there, but there are players that are injured. There are players that are just not quite ready. When they come back, where are they going to fit? What a bench. Lineup says 88 miles an hour. Really great to see you in the chat, as it is to see the beauty of the pencil. Greetings, Latte Firm, and the amazing chat. Good to join into the chat again. Welcome to the show. My sincerest apologies for those of you joining late that I couldn't go live last night. Personal reasons, which I've just kind of explained at the start of the show, but I appreciate all of the love. Max Dowman. He was on the bench, wasn't he? Why have Arsenal left out Max Dowman? That is interesting. Can anyone explain that? Noni Madueke. Yeah, there's another injury right there. Wow. Ethan Wanyeri has not featured much this season. I think he's going to get his game time, but there's something not quite right. And in fact, if you remember, last season, Ethan Wanyeri burst into the team, had those really good run of games, and then, of course, he just kind of went missing towards the tail end. There's got to be science or method to that. But yeah, there we are. And Piero Hincapié, of course, who has his groin strain. Thanks, Paul James, for reminding me that. You know, ever present for Bayer Leverkusen, never really had any sort of issues. Comes to Arsenal and the DNA gets injected straight away. Shami, welcome to the show. Going to listen to my father FK while I take a shower. Vibes are great right now at the Arsenal. Enjoy your shower. Let's hope you don't enjoy it too much. Louis says, yeah, it just wasn't on the graphic. Yeah, Max Dowman, that's a very interesting omission. I wonder why. Is it because he's a child? They're not legally allowed to name children on the bench, maybe? I don't know. Gaming since 2010 says Dowman was on the bench. They just forgot it on the card. They replied to their own post saying that he was there. There you go. There you go. Maybe he was just revising on the slide for some sort of, weird exam at school or something. Who knows? He was definitely on the bench. And the image on the right, how powerful is this? To be able to make changes in a game of such magnitude, Saka and Eze coming on, Declan Rice coming on late as well, Christian Mosquera coming on just to sort of mop up. I mean, it's sensational. Honestly, the days go by, the weeks go by, and I'm still sort of pinching myself thinking, have we really got this squad this good? Really, really sensational. Very, very pleased to see the squad. And actually, Mikel Arteta making the changes as well. Getting minutes out of legs, getting minutes in legs. Very important to keep the squad fit and fresh throughout the season. You never know when you are going to have to rely on players to come in and sort of replace people that are injured. Let's be honest. Christian Mosquera coming on 75 minutes. Jurrien Timber going off just before the hour mark, as did Declan Rice coming on for Mikel Merino. Bukayo Saka coming on for the last sort of 15, 20 minutes and, of course, got a goal. Eze coming on at the same time. Really, really fantastic stuff. Very pleased the gaffer is learning. And I don't say that in a patronizing way. We've talked about it on this show over the last sort of year or two. Why doesn't Arteta rotate? Why doesn't he believe in his squad a bit more? Why doesn't he take minutes out of key players' legs? But now he can do it, and it's fantastic. And Double RM says bringing on Saka and Eze is such a big dog move. Indeed it is. Anajit says, oh, what a squad. This is the best in Europe. And Dave says, think we've faced a lot of quick pressing teams, probably waiting for slightly easier teams to start Ethan Wanyeri. That's a good point. I'm not sure I know what Ethan Wanyeri's best position is. I know there was talk about him having a more central role. Maybe he is the Martin Odegaard sort of replacement, but his time will come. V Vlad says, was surprised Norgard didn't start. I'm with you. I thought Norgard would just come straight in last night. I thought he'd start, but obviously not meant to be. And just on Christian Norgard, I mentioned this on the match reaction video after Newcastle, or maybe it was the day after. Everyone's seen that clip of when we equalised through Mikel Merino. And if you take a close look at Christian Norgard on the touchline, ushering everyone to get back to the centre circle because he anticipated that the job wasn't done. Jizzle McDizzle, Don Andrea deserves a holiday of a lifetime. Lots of statue shouts as well. The guy's barely just through his probation period. Let's see what he's got cooking for January. I know it's just a few weeks away, the January transfer window. Let's see. So that was a team news. Excuse me 1 second. Sorry. That was a team news. No real complaints. I wanted changes. I wanted rotation. 6 changes to the starting lineup at St James's. 1 or 2 others maybe could have started. I get all of that. But in the end, it was a really good team selection and we got the job done. It was, of course, 2-0. That's the graphic on the left-hand side, courtesy of Now_Arsenal, Gabby Martinelli and Bukayo Saka. The young two. How many times have we said that over the years? Martinelli and Saka, the goal scorers. And it's great to see Gabby Martinelli in amongst the goals again. 4 goals and assists now in his last 4 appearances. He's back. Those are the stats courtesy of Canon Stats, as you will know and love and are very familiar on these match reaction shows. 2-0 the winners, 2.7 XG compared to Olympiacos' 0.8. And Olympiacos came close a couple of times. There was that really good header in the first half. I think it was from Podence. And David Raya just sort of tipping it away with his left hand, strong left arm over the bar. Tremendous save. One for the cameras, but probably was worth doing that sort of dive. And David Raya had a really good game. So they came close. I thought they looked quite dangerous in crosses. Every time they crossed the ball, we just looked a little bit in trouble. And they were quite clever to, go over the 2 centre-backs, irrespective of what side they were at. So they were always picking up the player at the far post. In the end, 16 shots on goal for Arsenal, 4 on target, not the best return, 15 shots from open play. Possession-wise, fairly comfortable, 60%. You'll see passes-wise, 518 compared to 334. Final third entries, bossing that as well. Not quite as high as we've done in terms of ratio in terms of recent games, but of course, Olympiacos in the Champions League is a slightly different caliber. 44 deep touches to 26 for them. I mean, we've bossed it all across the park. And actually, it was a very straightforward night out in the end. I mean, I talk about that sort of goal threat. But if we talk about the attacking threat chart, it was really comfortable. I don't know what you guys thought watching on TV or whatever, but I thought we didn't really have to get out of even sort of second gear. It was really straightforward. You can see the attacking threat chart there, Arsenal in sort of red. Couple of, moments in the games, like I say, David Raya making that save and then a couple of goal mouth moments. But on the whole, really, really comfortable. There you go. 88 miles an hour says giving Saka fewer minutes makes sense. Excuse me. Karen says, I think people need to remember that Ethan is still young, just coming back to me on Wanyeri. There's been a lot of talk recently about overplaying players and player welfare. Yeah, listen, his time will come. I don't doubt that at all. I think he's a very, very talented boy. He might be feeling sorry for himself by not getting minutes and seeing, the likes of Max Dowman coming on every now and again. But I think his time is absolutely going to come. You know that. What else is there? The Raya save was outrageous. FK KSSMYW says it would have been an incredible goal. Indeed. Raphael says a needed game for squad building. We're just getting started. Arteta is cooking. I'm telling you, this squad that we've cobbled together, ladies and gents, boys and girls. I feel safe. I feel assured. I feel like I think we would remember the Anfield game when Saliba went hobbling off and Mosquera came on. We were all a bit like. We're all nervous, but now, if that were to happen again, if Mosquera were to start this weekend, no one is shitting the bed. Dan Smith says Olympiacos did get feisty in the second half and had some good chances. Yeah, they looked dangerous, but they laid a glove a few times, but they never really went for the knockout blow. And I think we were quite comfortable, as this chart on screen shows. They did look like they could sneak one in the end, and then of course Bukayo Saka goes the other end and gets the game done. Gaming since 2010. Comfortable game, just one of those games though where as long as it's only a 1-goal lead, random moments can lead to drop points. Yeah, that was always in my mind. At 1-0 up, where they did have those dangerous moments, we just couldn't kill the game off. We just couldn't get that second. It's not as if we weren't trying, but sometimes you just have one of those days. But in the end, we did get it, and it was in late into time. And Bukayo Saka, very, very pleased with that. Paul James has a question. Here we go. If you want to ask a question, do start it with a Q. Very easy for me to spot in the chat. It says, did you think the atmosphere at the Emirates wasn't great last night? I'd like us to have tifos for all of our home European games. I think it helps the crowd and motivates the players. I do, Paul. I completely agree. I thought it was quite a flat atmosphere. I didn't. I was obviously very flat because of everything that sort of happened personally. It was very flat. And people around me sort of saying, look, it's a midweek game. It's 8 o'clock at night. We're in the run up to Christmas. I understand all that, 2 home games in a week. And so I recognize all of that. But, the club has got to help us put out the flags, get a tifo, have some fireworks to start, like before the game, have the sort of display. I mean, the Champions League theme tune and the flag is one thing, but like having fireworks and sort of, flares and stuff would be really quite cool to add a bit of color to the environment. So yeah, I think it does help motivate the crowd and motivate the players. The club could certainly be doing a little bit more. Aaron, on our defensive resilience, says we've only conceded 3 goals this season in 9 games. I make that. That's pretty impressive. One of those was an extraordinary free kick. One of those was a really good cross and header. And the other was, where do we concede the other goal? Manchester City, Erling Haaland, who scores against everyone. So yeah, 3 goals conceded this season. We are completely shutting teams out. DJ D10, welcome to the show. Evening FK and you lovely Gooners. Larry's in the house just shouting as usual. Yeah. Thank you for that, Larry. Appreciate you, man. You're just always here. Get involved in the chat. Keep it active. Let's talk about the first goal. And let's talk about Victor Gyokeres a little bit. So first up, Victor Gyokeres. What did you guys make of his performance? Let me know in the chat. I've been saying now for 3 or 4 games that it's dangerous to just conclude on Victor Gyokeres based on his output, i.e. goals and assists, because that's what people are going to do. People are going to say, right, and actually in the 9 games that he's played, if it is 9, 6 or 7 of them, he hasn't scored any goals. And that is factually correct. But if you use your eyes and if you watch the game, don't just see it, watch it and sort of analyze what he's doing. He's doing a lot for us in that final third. He is obviously on the move all the time, running off the shoulders of the defenders, dragging centre-backs and defenders out of position. He's almost attracting attention. He's almost, attracting like moths to flame defenders to him, and he's making space for other attackers in our team. His link-up play is good. I like the fact that he, even if he has a bad touch or if he doesn't make a complete pass or if he can't get a shot on goal or slips or whatever, he wants it. He wants it time and time again. He never hides. I love that he gives as good as he gets when it's a physical battle with a defender. I like what I see. So let me know what you guys thought. And Gabriel Martinelli, look, the anticipation is important. He scored from a yard out. The ball it was a Victor Gyokeres shot, scuffed onto the post, and then Martinelli's anticipated. He's moved in and he's tapped it home for potentially the easiest goal that he will ever score. But it was a goal nonetheless and very, very important for us. Raphael's just come back in on the defense. This defense will break records. Stephen Segal, welcome to the show. Says atmosphere in all UK stadiums is quiet compared to Spain, Greece, Turkey, and Italy. I think there are games where the Premier League can compete, but I think you're right. Culturally, and maybe traditionally, there are a number of grounds in each of those countries that will give you a fierce, fierce atmosphere. But, you go and watch Galatasaray week in, week out, or you go and watch Panathinaikos week in, week out, or you go and watch, Valencia week in, week out. I assure you, the Emirates is not that bad on a weekly basis. Vlad says, personally thought Gyokeres had a great game, was slightly snatching at his chances, but he has a presence. Opposition teams have to commit defenders. Exactly that. And he was dropping deep yesterday. He was giving and going, and his link-up play was good. He was almost like I don't know how to describe it. He was sort of absorbing pressure off the defenders, which gives you wide men a lot more space. And he gives defenders something to think about. His very presence and his movement is gonna make life difficult for defenders. They're gonna have to really be switched on for him. Manny K says he had a great first half. I feel he's rushing things in the end, maybe trying too hard. I don't know if he's rushing it. I just think the team is getting used to him. The connectivity is coming. The players are looking for him and they're finding him more. I think he needs to shoot a little bit quicker. So the rushing bit, I wouldn't agree with that. I think he just needs to be more instinctive. So when he gets the ball inside, shoot first time. You're not going to get time, mate, in England. And he knows that because he's been here, obviously. DJ D10 saying, hi, Karen. Nice to see you, my lady. Yeah, it is very nice to see all of you. Paul James says, Gyokeres was good last night. His movement, pressing, touch, awareness were all good. All that was missing was the goal that he deserved. The goals will come, my friends. The goals will come. And Vlad saying, Turkish fans are on another level. The Galatasaray has never stopped booing. Yeah, indeed. We saw Liverpool go there and they fumbled the bag. 2 defeats in 2. Only £500 million spent this summer on the championship winning team, and he's made them worse. Tanvir, welcome to the show. Says, hello, FK and fellow Gooners from Bangladesh. Welcome to anyone watching from Bangladesh. Really good to have you in the house. Let's move on to goal number 2. Saka, inevitable, but from the left. I like it. I like Saka moving and switching sides. I think it's really important that we do that and keep opposition teams on their toes. So the Bukayo Saka, the Gabby Martinelli goal, came on 10, 12 minutes into the game. And the Bukayo Saka goal a couple of minutes into injury time, which was fantastic. So really good goal that squeezed through the legs of the goalkeeper and sort of just, rolled over the line. Fantastic way for him to come off the bench and make an impact and score a goal, and really pleased for him. Bukayo Saka is going to have a huge role to play in this team if we are to win any honours this season, and to see him coming off the bench and to see him start games, really, really good. I don't know, man, but I like it. DJ D10, just to answer your question, I'm not a tactico, but I like the unpredictability. I like the fact that Arteta's willing to try things. And listen, sometimes you got to roll the dice and you're going to get what you're looking for. Other times you're going to roll the dice and get a couple of ones, and that's just the way that it is. But Bukayo Saka, we know he's inevitable, left or right. I'd actually be quite interested to see what he'd be like in a sort of number 8 position, like a more central player. I don't know if that's maybe on the cards, but excuse me, good to see it. Just had a late Chinese. Good to see him back, and good to see him in and amongst the goals. So Bukayo Saka, another one to add to the list. What else have we got? Let's talk about, Martin Odegaard, the skipper. He's back. Now listen, chat, let me know. What did you think of the skipper's performance? Because I feel like the cameo at Newcastle, someone sort of said to him, play without the pressure. We've got the likes of Eza on the pitch. We've got Victor Gyokeres, who's being a menace. We've got other players like Saka and co. Just go out there, play your thing, no pressure, handbrake off, all that sort of jazz, but just be relaxed. What we're seeing from Odegaard is a relaxed Odegaard. Like, he's not trying too hard. He's playing instinctively. He feels like he's got his touch back, his mojo back. We all know that he's the most elegant footballer. Tremendous guile, lovely sort of shoulder drop. He can turn, he can run, he can pass, he can caress the ball and control it. His ball manipulation's great. A little bit one-footed, sometimes he obviously heavily relies on that left foot. But there were a couple of weighted passes last night that I just thought, wow, this guy is back. I mean, that pass at St. James's for Miles Lewis-Skelly. But the passes, last night, again, absolutely tremendous. So pleased. And again, I know he's going to have his haters. And there's, he took a lot of criticism from Tony Adams and sort of, one or two others over the summer. Not captain material, not Arsenal worthy, not good enough to play. Last night's performance and the 20 minutes at St. James's shows you that his technical ability is as high as you can get. He is the coach on the pitch. He is a model professional. The players adore him and love him. Arteta absolutely loves him. And there's good reason for that. Don't forget, Arsene Wenger tried to bring him to Arsenal as well, of course. But Martin Odegaard, I mean, if this is the level of football that we're going to see, hopefully on a consistent run now of fitness and availability and technical quality, boys, girls, what a season we might have. Honestly, absolutely tremendous. DJ D10 just shouting, OMG, he is back. He is back. Absolutely tremendous. Logical Nonsense says, oh, captain, my captain. Never doubted the skipper, says Gaming, since 2010. You're absolutely right, man. I know you've been a loyal viewer of the channel. There have been a number of you that have always sort of backed the skip. And look, listen, as much as we love him and back him, he does have to deliver. So the onus is on him. He's got to stay fit. He's got to manage and navigate, Norway friendlies as sensibly as he can to make sure that he's available for club. Can't ever knock a player for wanting to play for his country, but he has been injured a couple of times on international duty, so just be careful. But really pleased. The first half Odegaard performance, wow. We need him at his best if we're going to win things. Could not agree more. Could not agree more. Oz Laguna, welcome to the show. Big up FK. Hope your father is feeling better. He is, my man. Thank you for the love. Appreciate that. Do keep him in your best wishes, guys. Tanvis says, I honestly like the switch of both sides between Saka and Eza. Just coming back to the comment earlier, I think that sort of destabilized Olympiacos as a defensive unit. I want to see more of that, ladies and gents, boys and girls. And there was a stint, where Martinelli did play on the right a little bit when Saka got injured last year, and a little bit of it worked. So, why not? Keep the opposition on their toes. Be unpredictable. Anajit says, touch, vision, presence, movement. Oh my, the Caps is so back. He is. And you know what? He looks quick. Dave, this is a really good point. He's quicker on the ball. He's quicker off the ball. He's always been very, very good at the press. Very, very good at sort of initiating that from the front. But he just looks like he's carrying the ball a bit quicker. It could just be my imagination. I don't have the stats to back it, but I'll try and find some for tomorrow. But I'm very, very pleased. Never, ever give up on Odegaard. He's just such a good player, says Vlad. Odegaard hasn't played like this in 2 years. What's up, FK in chat, and what a performance by our maestro yesterday. Pep wanted him at 15. I think a lot of clubs wanted him at 15, but there we are. Oslo Guna, listen, I hear you. All the Odegaard haters are quiet now, but this pressure is on the skip. Or the challenge is at the skipper's feet to now deliver this sort of performance on a weekly basis. I want to see it now against West Ham. I want to see it in the biggest games. I want to see it in the Champions League games, in cup games. I want to see it against the top big six, big four, whatever they're called now. I need to see him do it on a more consistent basis. We've seen him do it a couple of seasons ago. They amazing goal and assist return. But now we need to see him back. Jeddas Magoo, great name. My favorite, I think, alongside Jizzle McDizzle, unless it's the same person, potentially. I like Odegaard back in the space centrally. He can quarterback the passes into Vic. Yeah, I like that as well. I think when you've got the pivot behind you in Rice and Zubimendi, let's say, or Marino and somebody else, if Odegaard plays a little bit more central, he can slide out to the left 8, he can slide out to right 8, and make those sort of slide pass balls. I like it. Oh, Martin, I'm so happy to see you back. Dan says the Odegaard criticisms were always overrated. Listen, I understand when people get frustrated, but you guys know we all love Martin Odegaard. That is the absolute fact. So great to see him back in action. Let's finish up by looking at the standings. 2 wins out of 2 then in this first league phase of the Champions League season. I quite like the format. I said it last year. I really like it. I think the change they've made this year, the higher you finish in the league, the more chance you have of playing at home in the second leg of any knockout round, which is something that we didn't benefit from last year. We obviously saw what happened on Tuesday night, Liverpool losing away in Turkey. But these are the match day 2 results, as you can see on screen. English clubs wise, or the highlights rather. So Real Madrid winning 5-0 away at Kairat. I think we have Kairat at home, don't we, at some point? That could be the game that Victor Gyokeres scores 10 goals and just, it levels out his stats. The Scum, 2-0 down, rescued a draw quite late. Chelsea beating Jose Mourinho's Benfica 1-0. Liverpool, of course, losing. That's 2 defeats in 2 now for Arne Slot. I wonder, has the Jurgen Klopp memory muscle worn off? And is this now the Arne Slot effect? Who knows? Arsenal 2-0. Newcastle winning away at Union Saint-Germain. I think it's Saint-Germain. Union Saint-something. 4-0. Eddie Howe really pleased with that result last night. And Manchester City, an Eric Dyer penalty deep into injury time, giving them the draw. The standings on the right-hand side, you can see Arsenal are firmly in 5th place. A number of teams on maximum points. Bayern Munich, who are really enjoying Harry Kane at the moment. Real Madrid, obviously, courtesy of the massive win, are away at Kairat in 2nd. PSG, the current Champions League holders, are in 3rd. Inter Milan will be there or thereabouts. I'm sure they are 4th. Karabag in 6th, Dortmund in 7th and Manchester City in 8th. That is the top 8. Remember, we need to make it into that top 8 to A, have a chance of playing at home in the second leg, and to B, avoid the knockout round fixture, which would obviously be a massive problem. Well, not with this squad, not for us. Jeddas Magoo says the last league phase game is home to Kairat. There you go. That is the game. Could that be double digits? That's really disrespectful, isn't it? Okay. I take it back. But Arsenal, I'm expecting. Aaron says the Dyer equalising penalty against City. Honestly, it was hilarious. Sholarov, welcome to the show, FK. Hope everything's all right, mate. It is, man, and it's great to see you in the chat. Thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate it. And Vlad, it's not talked about how annoying Slot is on the sidelines. Have you guys noticed this? The geezer is always flirting or teasing or seducing the sort of 4th official, having a little laugh, and he thinks he's his best mate. And then it starts getting all tetchy and mardy when he's not quite winning and when things aren't going quite right. Yeah, the guy is not stable. And all I'm going to say, if you saw the still against Crystal Palace of Arne Slot in the 4th official sort of face right at the end, if that was a certain Spanish midfielder from Arsenal, Spanish manager from Arsenal, I think the PR coverage would be very, very different. That's all I'm going to say. It is the wrong podcast for a 10-0 prediction. I'm going to text Elliot tonight and say I'm stealing your line. We're not here to take part. We're here to take over. And there we go. So there are the standings, and that's what it's been. It's been a very good week for Arsenal in the Champions League. A few positives. The skip obviously coming back, a nice win, another clean sheet, maintaining our perfect start to the Champions League campaign, getting players fit and giving them minutes, managing the loads of players like Calafiori, like Timber, like Declan Rice. I think Arteta's pretty much nailing it so far. I think there are other benefits to come. I want to see the youngsters. I want to see Victor Gyokeres in and amongst the goals. I want to see more creativity, more shot creation from our midfielders. We've got Kai Havertz, Gabby Jesus, Noni Madueke, all to come back. We're in a good place, ladies and gents. We are in a good place. So that is probably the perfect place to leave it. We will be back tomorrow with a late night lounge, Yembele, and hopefully Wayne back after his house move shenanigans. Join us for that if you're watching for the first time. That is a chill session. Bring a snack, bring a brew, and just tuck into the content. We'll focus on Odegaard. We'll look ahead to the weekend of Barclays, and we'll reflect on the week that has been. And again, in closing, it's worth it because it comes from the heart. Very, very touched by all the messages. My apologies for not having the show yesterday. The Patreon group, the YouTube community, the messages that I've been getting on socials, on Twitter, really, really heartfelt appreciation for all of that. You guys are the best. Look after yourselves. Stay warm. Enjoy the Friday that is to come. Hopefully you have a nice ending to your week. We'll be back tomorrow night. And then, of course, match preview and match reaction all to come over the weekend. Thank you so much for joining. Drop a like on the way out. It's a massive help to the channel. And until next time, bye for now.